and welcome to KOHANA Studio podcast. My name is Kate. I'm founder of KOHANA Professional, nail champion, nail educator, and nail tech with over 15 years of experience. And today with me is Amber.
Hello, my name is Amber. I'm the executive assistant here at KOHANA, and I'm also an educator here at KOHANA Professional. So today's episode, Kate, we're talking all about how to become a nail educator and all that type of
Yes, how to become the nail educator, what is the path to it?
Yeah.
Is it hard or is it easy? We get loads of questions from you, kind of like, can you become a KOHANA educator, or can you become like individual, independent educator? So today we will go through all of this kind of topics, all of the common, most asked questions you have to ask, because we know it's kind of like it's very natural for nail techs who are doing nails on sometimes, yes, for a good few years. Then in some point you kind of feel that you really want to skip to another level yourself, but also you would like to kind of share your knowledge, to help others. Sometimes even naturally kind of like, even if you work with somebody who just start doing nails, yes, you kind of like naturally like, oh, you know, would be better if you do this way, some advices. So we decided to do this episode for you, so you can know what courses maybe to do to make you up to this level, and how everything looks like with kind of regulations. So what actually the educator mean. So I am educator as well for the last, oh gosh, to be honest, I don't know how long I'm educator. Maybe like 10 years now, yeah, around 10 years. And yourself?
only a few months.
Yes, few months,
Maybe.
like six months, isn't it? Yes, you started kind of like from the beginning of this year. So what that mean for you? How you feel about being educator?
I feel good. I feel like you said, I was at the point in my kind of nail adventure that I just wanted to kind of like step up and push myself a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really pushed me to do it.
I think maybe sometimes if we are doing something for too long, of course, some people just love it and they like, for them it's like enough, they happy and they're like a comfort place, yes, they feel happy. But like some people as well, it's a group of people that we actually feel itchy all the time, yes?
Yeah, have to be doing something new all the time.
Push ourselves and kind of like, yeah, I think for the nail techs, this is kind of one of the step above to kind of like to grow, to feel kind of like you growing, you do something more and more and more, and it's more kind of interesting. You're not burned out.
Exactly.
Kind of this way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the nail industry, like I said, over 15 years. So I started as a nail tech, of course, with like loads, kind of like bad lessons, experience lessons. But yes, me as well, around like 4 or 5 years, I was kind of feel this kind of itch that it's a little bit too boring now. Not maybe too boring, but it's kind of like you don't feel right
to progress
in some point. So yes, I remember when I started upskill myself. So this is where I started. I started upskill myself. I went to Poland and I had some courses done, and then I'm like, my eyes like again open, and I'm like, oh my God, this completely, the nail industry is not something like you do once and you think like, oh, this is brilliant and you can keep going. Everything is constantly changing. Yes,
totally. Yeah.
So I remember when I did my upskill courses, so then when I start feeling quite confident with myself, I said like, okay, this is the moment where maybe I could actually teach. So I found a brand that I could be educated with, so they could prepare me to be educator. I was happy with the brand to be educator for the brand also. So that was my kind of path. For a few months I was kind of joined kind of like the group of pre-educators people, nail techs. Yeah, so they trained me. And then when I pass all my exams, then I start teaching. But kind of like as well, how you can become educator in Ireland. So what is like different ways. So you have two different ways. Or you can be educator for the brand. So for example, like we have. So like we have KOHANA educators, or you could be yourself independent educator. Okay, so it's the independent educator. It's somebody who is just do their own program, their own courses. So they work under their own name. Okay. For a brand, if you decided to be educator for the brand, it's well, of course, you work from you're not employed. You can be employed by the brand, but mainly you kind of work for yourself. You provide like our KOHANA educators, they all work themselves from own places. So it's kind of like it's very freedom as well.
Yeah.
But it really depends of the brands, I think,
Yes.
because they can have, of course, different rules also. And KOHANA is like this. Another thing is you can be also educator just to call yourself educator.
Yeah.
To be honest, like even if you start doing nails and then tomorrow you say, oh yeah, I want to teach, you can teach. You know, nobody will kind of like tell you like you can't do it, because it's not like really, I would say, really regulated that educator has to have this and this and this. But of course, skills.
Yeah.
The first thing is skills. If you just start doing nails, for example, and then you say, oh yeah, I'm brilliant with one technique, and then you start teaching, you always have to be ready that the students, even the students from basic, yes, basic students, they can ask you questions that you don't know the answers.
Yeah, you have to be ready for all the questions.
Yes. So it's not only, oh, I feel good with biap technique or gel polish, so I can teach the gel polish, because the nail world is a variety of different techniques, proper like theory knowledge, practical knowledge, and techniques, product, chemistry these days, and then social media now, because we always on our courses we add kind of like extra tips for you how to grow your social media, something like this. So it's kind of the being the educating part. It's like really goes from just how to do nails to kind of how to do good business in nail industry.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It is, totally, yeah.
So, Amber, when you actually like your thoughts kind of like in your head, oh, maybe I could teach or something, did you feel that your skills was ready to be educator, like inside of you? What did you feel?
I think so. I think it was because I had my routine down. I had my full client list. I was happy. You know, I was confident in my skills. And then I was getting to that stage where I'm that type of person, you feel a little bit, oh, now what? You know, that type of way. I wanted
too comfortable.
Too comfortable. And I understand that some people are really happy there. And, you know, they're happy being comfortable. But I thought, I was like, okay, I feel like this is the next thing just to push me a little bit further. And even just doing the educator training with you, I loved it. Do you know, because you go really in depth into some of the product chemistry, and like you'd be surprised as well about what you don't know. You know, that type of
exactly. So exactly, that's why I say you feel like kind of I feel so good, I feel so confident.
Exactly.
And then you actually come for this educator course, what we do in KOHANA, yes, and you're like because educator course for KOHANA, it starts with a little test. So I always give the people test, the nail text test, and they have to do, it's how many questions there? Like around 35 questions, really about the theory part, and you have to answer the questions. And like lots of you was like,
yeah, but it was brilliant because it was the next step. You know, it's these things that you should know if you're going to go to.
Exactly. And like I always said, I didn't expect you to answer all perfectly correctly, because that shows kind of like yourself. You have to kind of like see yourself that, okay, I missed a few things also. So I think become the educator, it's kind of like, first of all, from inside of you, you should feel that, yes, I actually feel really good in all kind of skills. Like, of course, if you are a gel person, if you are acrylic, it's acrylic person, that's fine. But like you feel good in classic application gel polish, in kind of like structured gel polish, yes, so the biap called these days, gel extension, and then you actually can do one maybe extreme shape. Do you know, something like stiletto maybe, or bridge, or whatever shape, but like something like this push you, what we don't do every day, but you are actually able to do it also.
You understand it and you're able.
Exactly, you understand the structure. So I think then there is a kind of like moment that, okay, I feel good. I could actually, I see myself that I'm able to explain somebody who doesn't have a clue about stiletto. I explain how the stiletto nail work, how the stiletto nail we could structure, everything I can draw. So as well, I push everyone who start to be educator. I always put them with the marker, with the board. They have to actually draw everything what they see in the brain as well, what the brain see, because this what we see, we actually doing. So this is something what as well, try to actually draw nails you want to explain somebody.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised.
I found that very interesting as well, because I was just comfortable where I was, but then actually teaching someone what's in your brain is completely different.
It's completely different.
Isn't it? Actually getting it from your brain to the whiteboard is so different.
Yes.
To make it easy for someone to understand.
Exactly. And then as well, because loads, like I see, for example, when you teach, or I see when I teach the girls who becomes educator, sometimes we need to also understand that people who sit in front of us, they actually don't know anything. Like if it's basic students, never do nails, and she wanna become a nail tech, and they don't know anything at all. Yeah. So sometimes you can be really surprised how patient you have to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like the people sometimes really don't know what the nail lamp is.
Yeah.
I had a student that, for example, I start talking, and I seen that in her face that everything was really confused. She was like, she was listen, agree for everything, but in the same time, I seen this big cloud with a big question mark.
Yeah.
Like, how does exactly work? So then I figured it out that actually, when I said, do you know what a nail lamp is? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, here we come. She couldn't get it that the product actually has to go into the lamp, because she was that basic. Yeah. So when I have to kind of like bring all the lamps and explain the difference and all of that, then I asked her actually, as a student, I asked her, why you want to be a nail tech? You know, did you have a nails on? And she said like she never had the nails done. She just seen this on YouTube.
Okay.
And she said like, this looks so interesting. So I become so passionate about watching this. So I said like, oh, I'd love to learn how to do it. But yeah, these people, sometimes, you know, like on the YouTubes or like TikToks or something, when the people do nails, they never show lamps. They just do step by step, but like this, very often you can see that it skips the lamp. So that was for her kind of like hard to understand when I start explaining. Yeah. So this becomes educator. We need lots of patience to understand that the people really need attention from every point, like seriously from the theory. So this is what we for example, teach on the educator.
Yeah, I completely agree with this. This was a big thing when I first started teaching, was that it is back to basics. You know, because you're in the world and you understand it doesn't mean that people in front of you know what you know already.
I remember when you had your first course, so I was on the side, kind of like a little bit try to help you, and then you kind of like, you always felt that your theory was so fast.
Yeah.
Because it was so fast, yes. And then I said, because you think the people who sits there, they actually know what you know.
Yes.
So you kind of like,
I was almost recapping.
Exactly, recap instead of actually go through everything. So like, for example, when I do the theory, it takes me 2 hours. And for example, when you did the theory, it was like 40 minutes. You know, so it's kind of like, yes, to being educator, you really have to understand that the people are seriously coming for basic courses. They are completely basics and they don't know anything, okay? Yeah. So I think this would be a problem, for example, for people who would like to become educators when they freshly actually start doing nails. Sometimes people do nails for 1 year. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh yeah, I am actually so good, I mastered the technique, but actually you don't have a proper knowledge in the theory part to pass to the others. All the theory part, what is super, super important on the beginning to understand the next levels in nails, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
So do you need any minimum experience or qualifications to be educator? That's always as well the questions from people. Do I need any experience, like minimum experience? To be honest, it's not. It's not like you need, you have to do nails for 5 years and then you can become an educator. No, it's really, really individual thing. How do you feel? But I think it is kind of like in my recommendation, definitely you should do nails minimum maybe 2-3 years. To kind of like, because I think this is the time, even when I started, I remember that was the time it takes me to kind of understand and feel such a comfortable in the field.
Exactly, yeah.
With the clients, with application, with kind of understand the burning sensation, what is this, you know, this kind of like little things. So I think it's not like legally some requirements, but in my opinion, my recommendation would be maybe 2-3 years definitely would be like minimum experience to become the educator.
Yeah, and I think that's only natural too. I think nail techs do have to work for a little while and then they feel more ready.
Exactly. But yes, sometimes, you have these people like, they not even do nails and they're like, yeah, I want to be educator. Nice goal, lovely goal, so it's, if you really think that, absolutely brilliant idea, but yes, it will take time. It's nothing happen like in 1 year and all, you learn the nails, you master everything overnight. And then, another thing, the qualifications. You ask also, what qualifications do I need to become educator? So here, definitely you need all the qualifications that for techniques you are working. So if you work with e-file, you need for e-file your qualifications. Basic gel polish, structured, yes, the biab, basic gel extension. If you want to teach acrylic, of course, you need the qualifications. Why do you need these qualifications? Because if you want to be educator in Ireland, yes, you should have accreditation. Yes, so accreditation, it's kind of like an insurance for your courses, okay? So you need to find then the insurance company who will accredit your courses, like we have with AIT. ABT is for salons, AIT is for courses.
Yeah.
So AIT accreditation accredited our courses. Of course, you can be educator without accreditation. That's the option also. But then the students who will do course with you without accreditation, then they don't get insurance, and that becomes a problem. Then they will come back to you and say, hey, listen, I got the cert, but actually I can't now get insurance.
Yeah, because these insurance companies ask for your cert.
Exactly. Yes, and the cert has to be accredited. To get accreditation, also, I know it's kind of like to become educator, brand independent, and then this, so to get accreditation, also you have two ways. Or you do your own accreditation, so you have to set up all your program for each course. You have to contact the company who do accreditation, so they will send you the requirements they have, the checklist kind of. So it's usually like lesson plans, yes, all the kind of description of the courses, yes, the certs you will provide, how many hours, how many people. So it's kind of like all big,
like paperwork,
like big paperwork. But of course you can do it yourself. And also to get accreditation, you have to complete it educator train the trainer course. So this you can do with iTech or some other companies provide this, but you need to have your teaching qualification to receive accreditation. Or you can get your accreditation of being a part of the team for team of educators for the brand. So for example, when the girls are our educators, KOHANA educators, they come for educator course. My educator course is accredited as the teaching qualifications. So you end up this course with the teaching qualifications. And then KOHANA has accreditation already. That's why being part of the team, you are under our accreditation. So it's kind of like two different ways. And then yes, qualifications, like all courses you'd like to do it, then you need the qualification for this courses. So e-file for e-file, yes, like I said on the beginning.
Is there any challenges do you think educators face that nobody talks about that you need to be ready for?
Yes, definitely, the challenges is kind of like, the lack of confidence. I think some people still kind of like can be lack of confidence, and this can come from the character. Yes, maybe you're you really have to step out of the comfort zone, and then you feel, and I think this you can really, more you're doing, you're just used to it. But some people doubt themselves as well.
Like imposter syndrome type of thing.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
Totally,
yes. So they kind of like don't believe in themselves. They kind of like, they have a knowledge. They are amazing. That's with the students as well. Students are like this sometimes. They kind of amazing. You can tell them they are amazing. You see the potential. You see that they are so good what they are doing, but they still, I don't know if I'm good enough to do it.
Yeah.
So sometimes girls, if you feel kind of this way, of course, you need your skills, you need your knowledge, but sometimes if you have this, you have this, you do your checkpoints, okay, your checklist. Yes, do I have the skill? I did these courses, how my work looks like. Compare your work maybe a little bit, see to other educators, you see like, okay, if physically you write this down on the piece of paper and you see, okay, I have this, I have this, I have this, don't ask the question like, am I actually good enough? Just do it. I think this has to be
something you have to deal with. Just
Exactly.
yeah, work on
Exactly.
yourself.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome.
Another thing, what can be quite challenging is you have to be ready to be judged by others.
Okay. Yeah.
I think this is really hard because to being educator, you are kind of like you are we
Kind
could
of-
say public person.
Yeah, you're putting yourself out there, right?
Exactly, you put
Yeah.
yourself out there, so whatever you say, like some other educator will not agree.
Yes, and even you get this.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, some people, like, I share something with my explanation, yes, on the TikTok or Instagram, I share some technical structure, and somebody like, no, this is not like this is different way. Then, like, you have to be ready for that this is normal, especially if we put out ourselves to social media world, yes, so we are open to judging, yes, so you kind of have to be strong, like seriously strong inside, and be ready that somebody can judge you, but you have to stand for yourself. Like, for example, I know every educator can have different technique, different style of explaining, little bit different maybe, little bit, or this they called maybe different names or something.
Yeah.
But like, I know everything doing right, and when I teach, people get it, and I feel really comfortable. So for me, the judgment like this is like, okay, that's fine. If you think you can do it better, show me.
It's nice that everyone has slightly different styles.
I think so.
As long as the foundations are correct.
Yes.
You know, everything is.
That's why I always say to students on the courses, do the same course sometimes with other people. So you will see the difference. Always somebody can share something a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if you had the BIAB course done with somebody, but you never had, for example, with us, you should come and see what we're teaching, how we explain things, So it's very nice, I think, that educators have different style and different techniques.
I think so
of
too.
doing things.
Yeah.
Constant pressure to be perfect. Okay, this is hard, but that's even now, I think it's not only in educators' world, but it's even in the nail stylists, nail techs, isn't it?
It's a lot of pressure.
It's
isn't
lots
there?
of pressure to create the perfect pictures, perfect work, fast, beautiful, Of course, it's possible to do it, but not always. Sometimes, yes, like I share with you the video that I can do this really fast and really beautiful. Yeah, so it's on YouTube. If you want to watch, I share that. It's like 1 hour video showing how I actually do I would say perfect nails. Perfect nails in 1 hour. But sometimes even hands, cuticles are not perfect. Of course, my work also is not always perfect. Okay, we are humans, we are normal people that can not to make mistakes. But sometimes it's just not, we don't do work that it's actually reach our even expectations. Okay, so be
kind to yourself.
Yeah, be soft to yourself, and don't be too hard. Okay. Legal insurance and responsibility for students. Yes, so this is the thing. This is about, we back to the accreditation also. Yes, so this is very important, because in some point you have to kind of like understand one thing. If you sign the certificate for somebody, that means this person leave your place and is ready to do nails. Okay, sometimes it's not easy. In our place, not everyone passed the exam. The basic course, basic gel extension, for example, it's end up with the exam. Most of times the people pass the exam, but sometimes happen that some people need a little bit more time, or they're just not able to do in this moment, and you have to be ready to explain this to student. Yes, to not only, this is not only sugar coated. Yes, we have to actually explaining things that you need to improve here, and here. Sometimes you see tears, and you actually have to kind of be strong and kind of like stay always on your own side, like strongly. So not like somebody will push you to sign the certificate. Oh no, I will be good, I will be practice, I will send you some photos. Okay, practice, send me photos. You can always come back to repeat your exam whenever you spend a little bit more time for doing this, and then you are more ready for it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what would you do in that situation? You would just tell them to practice and rearrange the exam.
Exactly. So how it works here, it's kind of like I usually kind of try to leave the students a little bit on the side. I don't want to talk really in front of everyone, yes, to explaining things, because I never know how they react. I don't want them cry, for example, in front of others. So I always try to kind of like find a moment where I know when I know earlier this moment will come, unfortunately. So I know when is the good moment and kind of talk like honestly, but nice and softly to explain, because it is sometimes like, to be honest, myself, I was kind of like, I always, if I learn something new, I need more time.
Me too.
I always have to come back from course, sit down and actually do it myself good few times.
Courses can be a lot of pressure.
Yes.
Can't they? Yeah.
So I can just imagine like students come for basic gel extension course. Sometimes they choose this as a first training. Even we recommend the gel polish first, because this give you very nice background. But basic gel extension is completely perfect to start as well. But yes, sometimes they just need this extra month to practice on friends and then come back and they are okay.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to always explain this, and very important, I explain the rules on the beginning.
Yes, from the start.
So before the course start, I always explain how everything works. Yes, all the kind of like structure of the training, and I say that it's end up with the exam. Not everyone passed the exam, so they know from the beginning. This is not just they be hanging here. Okay, they have to do the work, they have to do the homework, and they have to kind of like
yeah,
squeeze
because
that.
there's a practical exam and a theory exam.
Exactly. Yes, we have the theory and the practical exam. So that's how it works with this. You need to kind of have, as an educator, this kind of strength in you as well, to not sugarcoat everything.
Yeah.
Be honest with people. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. It's an important thing to have.
I also got the questions from you about, so what educator courses are you offering? Okay, so that was quite nice. I tried to explain, for example, but I in the end I said like, oh, we will record the podcast, so it will be, I think it will be maybe a little bit easier to understand. So like I said, I don't provide like courses for independent educators, because I love keeping the KOHANA educators team on the highest level. I know if they will end and finish the KOHANA educator teaching program, our educators are seriously on the top of the top level in Ireland, and I know the team, even if it's small, I know I can trust, and no problem I can send everyone to these girls all over Ireland. Okay. Independent educator, I can do it, no problem, kind of maybe individually, something like this, but then it's kind of like you go yourself, and I kind of like, I don't know, you understand what I want to say? It's kind of like, I can teach you, but it's more kind of like, I would say, upskill courses. So because this stays on your side, you make your own decisions, you create your own program, you create kind of like your own standards, and that's completely fine. But if you want to do it, I can teach you, but this is not like really educator course. You have to upskill. So you have to kind of like, whatever you feel, okay, I'm very good with an extension, but I'm actually not good with just gel polish application. So you need to upskill in these areas what you feel you need a little bit more confidence. And then if you want me to kind of sit with you for a few hours explaining how to create your accreditation, how to create all of this program, of course I'm here also to help you. This is no problem. But this is more I do individually. If you really ask, then yes, I will do it, and then we more set up this program for you. Okay,
we have an option on our website, don't we, how to become an educator?
Yes, yeah. So it's usually, you have to contact us. We kind of like in one time a year or every 2 years, we kind of like share the enrollment to become the KOHANA educator. So this time is coming, so for a winter. So if you're really interested to become, for example, KOHANA educator, then you will have a chance this year. So you have to apply, you have to send your little kind of like a recap of your nail, like your experience story, where you are, but you have to be ready that first you come for exam. It's kind of like, not exam, the kind of test that will show where your skills are, because sometimes we can see on this first exam, I can call, yes, on this kind of starting exam, I see big difference between people who are actually really ready, in my opinion, to become an educator, and people who need a little bit more extra time, and then you should come back for upskill course. In this areas what we give you the feedback. But then if you pass the exam, it's a practical, then it's the theory, and then when you start, we have like the educator program takes like 4 meetings where we cover all kind of knowledge that you will need and prepare you to become educator. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow us. I wish you a lovely day and chat you soon.